What's up, people? I am back. Um, Today I'm doing this video, and then later we're gonna try to fix Superman Returns because since Man of Steel, was the 8 year anniversary. I was just thinking about like Superman Returns deserves a fix because I said before I get into this video, the cast isn't the worst thing about that film. I think, and if you're hearing something that's the fan, it's hot. Sorry. Um, but I have it at low, so it's not too loud. But the cast wasn't the worst part of that film, so I feel like you can fix it. It's really an easy fix, but I'll get to that later. So right now, I am doing another bands I love. I want to try to make this at least. I want to do one or two a week. Next week, I think I'll do two, but this week we're gonna be talking about Korn. So this is a band I found. I probably like tangentially somewhere I'd probably heard Freak on a Leash, but if I had to say like my first official time, I think it was around, like, I would say it was 2007 or 8, where I think it was Freak on a Leash because I heard the 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 one, the famous part where I forgot what it's called, but the thing they do in that song, and just I didn't really get into my, okay, this sounds interesting, but then it was a few years later, 2011, where I heard the song Thoughtless, and I just remember just more and more. I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to more of their stuff. Then there was Coming Undone. I think that's the one, actually, because I had heard that one, but then I heard the main chorus from Coming Undone. I hadn't listened to the whole song yet, but and just the more I listened to them, I remember just being like, they're really good. And pretty much ever since 2011, I would say I just more and more just started really getting into them, listening to, obviously some of their earlier stuff like Blind, fucking, oh, one of their really fucked up songs that, especially if you actually listen to because there's the demo version that came out before, which it has like a way more grungy sound. The song "Daddy" it's really fucked up because Jonathan Davis, like, that's a look into what happened to his life. That song is really dark. A lot of their stuff's really dark, but the guitar, the sound, really interesting sound. There were a lot of like the early, like, I guess you can say, kind of new metal bands, because they mixed in a little bit of that rap, a little bit, and and they even did stuff with like a song with Ice Cube. It was like Korn was just interesting. It was like my like take into more alternative, and the reason I wanted to talk about Korn, since I started with like some 80s, and then I did a little bit of 90s with Korn, with Alice in Chains, like grunge 90s. So I was like, let's. And then last week I did Metallica, so I was like, we're gonna do Korn, and then I'm thinking next week we'll probably do. I'm either gonna do Nirvana or like Skid Row or somebody, but sorry, fucking fly. Um, but Jonathan Davis's voice is really good. Like the stuff he can do, and I get it. Korn's a band that's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I think they're a band I think you should listen to just to hear them, and the music's really good. The guitar is really good, and a lot of their music videos. I think for sure their best music video is Freak on a Leash, just because the work they put into it. Like the cartoon, I really love the animation, and then going from that transition to like real life was really good. This is like when music videos were actually almost like mini movies, where they told the story. Like you had the song playing, but the song was had a story, you know. And then even Thoughtless, like if you see the music video for that, it was about a kid being bullied. Yeah, the ending was changed where he puked on everybody. Originally, that was supposed to be a gun, but this was not long after Columbine, so they're probably like, that's not. And I think the point still stands. A lot of it, and then all their music videos are great. I think all around, um, and you'll find that like another thing is they did a song for the Spawn soundtrack, which will be on one of my favorite soundtracks, which I'm gonna do that video tomorrow. Did the song called "Kick the PA." Like they were like everywhere in that like late '90s to the early to mid 2000s. They were everywhere. Like even just the logo. Like I think you may have never listened to the band, but the logo's recognizable. And I just like the way they carry themselves. That's why Korn was one of my favorite bands. Jonathan Davis kills it. Like I said, Freak on a Leash is one of my favorite. Like it's my favorite music video from them, just because the work they put into it. You know, the animation was really good. The, and then the way it ends, where you know, because it goes to like real life, and then it goes back. The bullet goes back, reverse back into the cards. It was fucking great. um, and then like yeah, then you got a lot of that new metal era. I feel like there was a lot of bands that kind of followed Korn's, not just Korn specifically, but just like that era. You know, after Korn, I started really noticing that like people did a lot of the rap rock, the remixes, and I think the only and the Korn's one of the few bands I think yeah they're still together now. Where I've listened to some of their more recent stuff, it's good. It's not as obviously legendary as some of their older stuff, but their newer stuff's pretty good. The only album I flat out didn't like was the one they did with Skrillex, and this was like 2011. Because this was when dubstep was fucking everywhere. And I can't stand that shit. Because it's one thing if you're at a party and you're playing it, but I just like, even at the time, I was like, how can you listen to that shit walking down the street? That sound would get annoying after a while. So it's really unfortunate that Korn did a thing with him. And that was about when I first started getting into him, too. But minus that one album, a lot of their later stuff has been pretty good. They still kind of do the same image, and like I said, Daddy. If you listen to Daddy and Blind, because there was the demo that came out. Blind came out in '94 on their self-titled album. If you listen to the demo version, it has much more of like a grungy kind of sound. It actually sounds really good. But then there's a demo for Blind, and Blind itself, the actual song is great because it's like 8-9 minutes of just Jonathan Davis's story, and the ending is just one of the most uncomfortable things. Seeing like him crying, and those were real tears, like in the end of that song. Really fucked up shit. Um, but the demo version, which is the demo version shorter. It's not as long. So this was probably before they finalized the song. That one's pretty dark. Like there's a part of the song I'm just like, holy shit. Like yeah, it's a really good song, and it's a sad song. It's one I'll admit I can't blast all the time because this talk. I guess I'll spoil it really quick. It's Jonathan Davis talking about how he was being sexually abused by his babysitter. It's really fucking sad, and like the tears in the end of the song are real. Like those are his real tears in the end of that song. It's really fucking sad. Great song. Obviously, I think the riff's fucking badass, but it's one of those songs I can't listen to, especially when it comes to that kind of shit. Yeah. But it is a dope song. But Korn has been in my life now. I guess if I'm gonna say like as a fan, I would say now it's gonna be about 10 years exactly. Yeah, it's been 10 years since I've listened to Korn like till I got really into them. And I gotta say they're one of my favorite bands, and I'm happy that I found them. And I listen to them pretty much every day now. It's like Alice in Chains in a way. I listen to them at least a couple times a week because their stuff is so good, and it's just such a good sound. Even if I've listened to it already, I can fucking listen to it again. So that was my bands I love on Korn. Next week, I think I'm gonna do two. One of them will be Skid Row. I think, even though I am not a big fan of Sebastian Bach as a person now. I'm not gonna go into it because it's political shit. That's not the point of this channel. But yeah, he said something really stupid. So, but I can still listen to the music. So that's gonna be one next week, and then the other one it might be Nirvana or it will be like Seven Dust. It'll be one of those two. But yeah, Korn's great, and I would say listen to him. Just listen to him, even if it's not your style. I just say listen to him. 'Cause I think people need some of these bands. I think the world needs, even though a lot of them are famous and people do know them, but I just think more people need to listen to them. So later, we're gonna fix Superman Returns, and then tomorrow I'm gonna do the soundtrack list. So Korn is badass. But I'll talk to you guys later. Fuck Warner Brothers. Fuck Disney. Fuck James Mangina. And fuck OneRing.net. I'll talk to you guys a little bit later. Peace.